and sisters of the world.
Hey, so cool. I just got the little notification that we're going live. So hopefully all the subscribers they actually get it as well.
Yeah, I mean, I was just gonna say that, us being consistent, I'm very proud. Like, we're here again, like 3 weeks in a row. I mean, that's an accomplishment after the summer.
I mean,
But
the season started, so we have no excuse. Well, the two of us don't have any excuse, but somebody else, I'm sure, you know.
hey, we bullied Hristo on this time. Now Ian is dodging Hristo because he doesn't want to face the music. But
A lot a lot of drama going on in the pod, you know.
pod beef. No, but I mean, it's good to be back. We've got Hristo, we've got Dave. We'll hopefully have Ian next episode. We've got hopefully a guest or two lined up in the future, so
Yes,
be on the
sir.
lookout for that. But another win. I mean, two in a row. Good start to the season. I think it's everything that we said we wanted to see last episode. So yeah, I guess we'll just get right into it. I mean, 3-0. Pretty comprehensive. Good to be back home. Do you think that, just as a starting question, that this is more the level that we're going to see this season, or how much more do you think there is to improve on? Start with Hristo since he's making his reappearance.
Mhm.
Bro, it's been 1 week. I've been holding the podcast throughout the summer. It's good to be back, boys. Inter, 2 wins out of 2 matches. We would say as expected wins, but still matches that you have to play, you have to grind, and you have to win to secure the 3 points. And the Scudetto is won in such matches where you don't deserve to win, or at the end of the day, you had a decent game but failed to score. That happened in the first match when I didn't show up for the podcast. But this week it was the complete opposite. It was cruising from the start. It was dominating the match, and there's a lot more to come, in my opinion, just because Lukaku has not been at his best yet, and Hillary has had a huge impact on the game, on the result, and on the play overall throughout the game. If he regains his form, or when he regains his form, is going to be very different, a different play style, more involvement from his side, holding up the ball, running wide with the ball, being the complete striker that we were used to before he left. And then, yeah, there's a lot more to come, and I'm very happy for the 2 weeks. And I know that we'll get into this week's match, and there's a lot to be said.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I thought we started to see some involvement, some plays kind of catered towards Lukaku. We saw a lot of balls over the top, but they, of course, were offside. I think there were like 4 or 5 offsides in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, Dave, what do you think? Where did you see some improvement this week, and where do you want to see some more come Friday?
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm 100% with Risto on this one. I feel like in comparison to the first match against Lecce, we saw a team that from the get-go they were focused, and it seems like we never had any lapse of concentration. I don't want to misspeak, but I don't think Spezia even had a shot on target. So we were very focused on the defense, which was what, of course, we all spoke about even in the preseason. That's the main thing that needed to improve. I don't feel like we were threatened at any point of the match. Of course, it's Spezia we're talking about, but it's still something worth mentioning because Lecce managed to score on us, so that's still an improvement. Um, but to answer your question, the second part of your question, I think that it is a step in a good direction, in the right direction, but it's not anywhere near the level that we're going to see when this team is firing on all cylinders. Um, as Risto mentioned, Lukaku, he's not all the way up to par physically, and he's still, of course, still learning Inzaghi or whatnot. Um, so once we do get Lukaku fully integrated, I think that's going to be another level. And I'm sorry. We also have the left wing back position. That's still right now we have a merry-go-round being played between DeMarco and Gosens. So I feel like once Gosens is also fully integrated, and if we could get the Gosens from Atalanta, That's gonna be another level for the team again. So yeah, that's what I wanted to mention. It's just those two aspects, Lukaku and the left wing back position. I feel like once those improve, that's gonna be the full impact of the team. Because Lautaro already looks in the mid-season form. He's moving very well. He's winning balls back, and we saw that volley that he scored as well. So yeah, that was what.
Yeah, I mean, kudos to powering through that one. You were a little choked
And
up,
my
but I
my
mean,
voice.
oh, you're good. You're good. Respect for powering through that. But you're totally right. I agree as well. I think bringing in Bastoni from the start, having DeMarco push up. I mean, I think that helped because we saw DeMarco as a threat in the first match, but he was much more able to impose himself in this one, and Dumfries from the start as well. I mean, I thought he was the player that stood out the most to me in this match. I really enjoyed watching him. I mean, he seems to have taken the mantle that Perisic had last season of being the direct runner at the defense. He's going to be the guy that causes the problems out wide, and I'm really liking it. I mean, what a difference a year makes. I think he deserves a lot of credit.
No, yeah, that's a very good shout. It does look like he was really taking his man on. I know that's something that we always criticize him for. He always does those back passes and wants to make the safe play, but it seems like he was much more offensive, even too offensive at some point because there was this one play that I'm sitting there, I'm already looking at Lukaku, waiting for him to just put him through so he could just tap it in, and then he tried to score himself. Speaking of Dumfries, I guess we can't criticize him for being offensive and trying to score, but I feel like stuff like that is stuff that we have to work out. Like that's an easy just square the ball into Lukaku to an open goal.
I mean, he almost scored it, to be fair. I thought Dragowski tried to be the Dragowski that we know, but I mean,
Yeah.
Inter had a lot more pressure actually on him. I don't think he had much of a defense. You know, I was a little cautious about Spezia going in because Empoli showed well last year, and of course they beat Empoli first match. But then watching Empoli again today against Fiorentina, they don't look the same. They don't look the same team they did last season, even though they held Fiorentina with like 9 men, I think, towards the end and like 10 minutes of extra time, which was pretty ridiculous. But yeah, that's not the same Spezia as last season because I think they even gave us some fits then, and I know they gave us some fits under Conte, one of those two matches. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, I'm very, very impressed with the performance. You know, 2 matches in after a preseason that looked very down. I mean, you can't really, we preach it all the time. You can't take that as gospel like preseasons, but it didn't look good, and it didn't give me too much confidence. But I mean, we're looking good now. Not giving up a shot on target is, I mean, a great accomplishment. Ian's not here, so I can say this. I think that's how you win with Handanovic. You don't let him face any shots. But yeah, defense I think is the biggest theme of this match. That and of course Lautaro and Lukaku partnering
Yeah.
up first goal back in
Yeah.
like a year.
No, not for sure. To like, I think Hristo mentioned it earlier. You saw from the very, very beginning. It seems like Inzaghi wanted to emphasize that long ball over the top to Lukaku that became famous under Conte. You know, he scored a lot of goals under Conte doing just that. And we didn't see it so much against Lecce, but this match we saw it from the get go, and a lot of them, like 4 or 5 offsides already in the first 5 minutes. So that's you could tell that's what we worked on. And ironically, that's how we scored the first goal. You know, ball over the top from Barella, and then he had the perfect knockdown in Lautaro's path. And you know, this guy doesn't need more than one invite for him to hit a ball off the volley, and that was perfect. So it's good to see stuff that they're working on and on the training pitch actually pay off in the match.
Yeah, yeah. I actually have Ian's notes here. He sent them to us. Um, he didn't mention anything about Handanovic, of course, nothing. But he did mention what we were talking about now. Lautaro's first time finishing, and I saw a stat yesterday. I think it was Matteo Bonetti that tweeted it, and it was a graph, and I think I forget the X and Y exactly, but the basics of it was that Lautaro takes the most first time shots of like virtually any player in Europe, and I think that's
In Europe,
yeah, it was Europe.
it's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. I'll have to find that. I'll retweet that on
Well,
Twitter. But I mean, that's a good threat, and I think we're seeing a better Lautaro. I think that's something with Lautaro and Lukaku this time around is that it's not about Lukaku shining, it's about Lautaro shining. I think that's going to be something interesting to watch down the road. I'd like to see what you guys think about that.
I want to hear Hristo first because I know he's been quiet for a bit, but yeah, I definitely want to jump on that.
I'm just listening to you guys, but yeah, the point that both of you made were great because it reflected how we played yesterday. I think Handanovic I haven't seen Onana at all, to be quite honest, and I'm excited to see him play either now or in the future, but rather sooner rather than later, I would say, just
Mhm.
because I want him to. I think Cameroon are in the World Cup, right? I,
Um,
Um,
I'm
let me
not sure.
see.
I, I think they are because I've seen banners of Cameroon with Onana being their like face of the national team for the World Cup in Qatar. But nonetheless, I think he needs to play
Yeah,
before the World Cup
yeah, they are.
just
They are.
because just because of consistency and because a World Cup year is uh, highly rated by everyone. Everyone wants to play before the World Cup, and
Of
I
course.
really like to see Onana, especially in games such as the upcoming match against Cremonese. That would be a perfect opportunity for him to get his feet, I would say, up and running. It's a World Cup year, as I said. The World Cup is what, in 3 months, I think. Yeah, less than
Mhm.
3 months, and him getting started in getting his minutes on field would be crucial for the season that that just started. The attack is really important, and yeah, I would like to see how we progress further.
No, I agree with you, 100%. I was just thinking the same thing to myself. Obviously, we can't be out there clamoring for Onana to start against Lazio on Friday. That's not realistic for him to get his first start in a big match like that. So yeah, I saw we have Cremonese next, and they haven't looked too good in the league so far. So I'm like, hey, that's a match that we can afford to throw a guy in, let him get his feet wet, like you mentioned, Risto, play the high line, have him get involved, and see if he adds an extra dimension to the team, which is one of the reasons why we're interested in bringing him in, which is
Absolutely.
because he's good with his feet. So let's experiment a bit. So yeah, I'm 100% on with you on that. And I want us to make sure we get this guy on the pitch before he start getting unhappy and start hinting at being impatient and stuff like that. We don't want any drama in the squad. Ever since we got rid of Icardi, we haven't had any squad drama, so let's keep it that way. And also, I wanted to touch on what Mikey had mentioned. Yeah, it's definitely a whole different version of Lula that we're going to be witnessing. Hopefully, you know, the first time around, it was more about Lukaku as more an established striker, pretty much bringing on the young Lautaro on with him because Lautaro was fresh off that season that he started the second half of the season because of the Icardi drama. So he wasn't really that experienced when he first paired up with Lukaku. But that 1 year, last year, after Lukaku left, Lautaro he took on more of a responsibility. He was our higher scorer, and I feel like his game grew a little bit. So I feel like we're gonna see a much more mature version of Lula, and we're only gonna benefit from it. So yeah, for sure.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's really going to be interesting. I think they kind of are playing it up as well with the 90 plus 10. Or I think Lukaku, he posted something about it. I mean, this is just whatever. It doesn't mean too much, but like said 10 plus 90 is 100. So, I mean, I think just those two being together gives so much confidence to the rest of the team. And I mean, it takes away defenders. Like Lukaku is a defender magnet. Like the
Yeah,
second goal, Chalanolu's goal, I think there were like two or three defenders around.
around Lukaku. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, they were trying to body like two of the biggest Inter players on the pitch because you had Lukaku and Skriniar linking up, and the ball gets poked away. And I mean, we know that Chalanolu, he's not going to say no to a rolling ball, kind of far out in the box. And I mean, I think that's another place that I mean, Lukaku's not on the score sheet, but he's helping this team like this early on. So I mean, it's only a matter of time before he gets his flow going, and then this is going to be a scary team.
no, for
Um,
sure.
I'm really
And
looking forward to it.
yeah, I was reading something earlier. I'm not sure if it's true because people write whatever, but it's like apparently they spoke every day last year, all throughout Lukaku's time at Chelsea and stuff like that. So it's like it seems like those guys' friendship is even deeper than we thought. If Lukaku left and they still spoke every day, all throughout the time that he was going through his struggles, that means those guys have a connection, and we could definitely see it on the pitch.
It's just funny to imagine them talking after every game, right? It's like
Yeah.
having a podcast in private.
In a WhatsApp little chat there,
No,
huh?
if Lukaku wasn't getting torched in the WhatsApp chat, I don't know what's going on. That guy had
And
to be getting torched. I mean, he's
I'm
talking to
sure
Barella, he's talking to Lautaro. These guys are like, come on,
exactly.
man.
I'm sure Barella was the one leading it because Barella was when he pointed at him, Barella was like,
Yo, if he listens to the podcast, we wish him well.
Oh my god,
Yo,
nah.
but what are your thoughts about the backline? Do you think that we could have improved on the Vrij? Because I think out of the three, he's the most insecure one when it comes to ball position. And I just
Mm,
think that last year he took a step back, although still a great player. I think the other
yeah.
two really stood up instead of the Vrij.
No, I agree. But actually, I want to throw him some bell. I feel like he was pretty decent yesterday. But of course, Skriniar is the one that stood out the most, and Bastoni because of his ball playing. But I feel like De Vrij was safe yesterday. Um, of course, we kind of allowed ourselves to dream a little bit when we were linked to Bremer since January. That okay, you know what, we're gonna improve on De Vrij. But now we got brought back to earth, and we're realizing that he's still a decent player. Of course, he did take a step back. He's not the best defender in the league like he was 2 3 years ago, but he's still a pretty good player. I think we have. And yesterday he was decent. What do you think, Mikey?
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I can really nitpick about De Vrij yesterday was like one
Mm,
errant back pass that went for a Spezia corner pretty early on.
yeah,
But I mean, other than that, I think he's been decent in like both of the first two games of the season. I mean, it's Spezia and it's Lecce, but like, I mean, he wasn't good against the teams of that caliber last season. So I
last
mean, it's
year,
still an
yeah,
improvement. I the only way I think you improve on him is if you sell Skriniar, which I obviously the club did not want to do. And he didn't want to go. So I think this was the defense that we were kind of just gonna have because De Vrij couldn't generate any interest. Bastoni didn't want to leave. I don't think the club wanted to sell him. Skriniar, that guy, like, I don't know, he would chain himself to San Siro before like leaving. So I just think this was where we were going to be. I know Achereby's close now, and that's going to be a backup. I know that splits some Interisti, but
yeah,
I think this defense, I mean, I think it's still serviceable. I think everyone has talked about it that this Inzaghi high line is screaming for someone quick, especially
yeah,
at the center of the defense.
yeah,
And we know DeVry's not that, Achereby's not that, but I think we can survive another season like that, and then maybe next year, a Akanji on a free is a possibility. Like there will be a
hmm,
little bit more room to work with. It's probably more of. I don't think we're gonna have to make 60 million again. I hope we don't have to make 60 million again.
I hope.
So
Mhm.
yeah, if you just have a little bit more space to work with, I think you can get a smart replacement for DeVry. But this season, I think he's fine.
I agree.
What do
I
you
do
think?
think as well. I mean I think he'll be just alright because the league is the same. I think very few clubs really improved. Most of the clubs regressed, in my opinion. Uh, Spezia are not as good as last year. Empoli are awful.
Yeah. To your
It
credit,
was
Spezia's manager mentioned that yesterday. He said that the gulf between the top seven sides and the bottom seven is only widened since the summer, and they like he called the match yesterday unplayable. So yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yeah, but not our fault that fucking Agudelo, a DM, played up front with Nzola, who's you know unbearable. It's not 2017. Um, but I mean, the gap will be only wider and wider as the years go on. Just like the gap is wider between Spezia and Inter. That's the same gap between Inter and the top clubs in Europe. Look at the Premier League clubs and how much they're spending. And
Yeah,
Inter
you're right,
here trying to fucking get around 15 million for a Casa Day. They're
yeah,
selling like everything that they can just to make some money and
bro.
trying not.
Today I had time I didn't go out. I watched a lot. I watched the whole Premier League slate of matches. And I'm seeing the difference between their league and ours, bro. Like I watched the match between Leeds and Chelsea, the level of football, you know what I mean? And then after that, Newcastle and Man City, it's crazy. You did mention it. It's like us Serie A fans, we have to pretty much stay in our little bubble, worry about our little league, but still know that it's a level above the best, you know.
I
Our
think we are
silly
all
little,
aware of
I
that.
mean
Yeah.
below. I'm sorry, level below.
yeah, our silly little league.
It's a little league, man.
Real privacy, no piracy, protected league.
Yeah, I mean that Arabic stream that I watched like 5 years ago is the reason that we can't buy
It's your
a
fault.
jersey. I know, I know.
Yep.
You know what? I loved watching it though. I guess I'll take the L. So, yeah. But speaking of other clubs, we've had 2 weeks of matches now. I'm sure like we've probably all watched at least one other Serie A match, like peeked in at a club that we were interested in, maybe watched both of the Milan matches.
Yeah.
Who has stood out to you this season? Like who? I mean, it's still 2 matches in, but is there like, do you have a team yet that isn't Inter that you're gonna take, an interest in watching? Like when you see their games come up, you're like, all right, like I'll choose to watch that one before Inter or after Inter or whatever.
No, for me, it's like it's become Napoli. Like, and that to me, it's like I'm sure a lot of people will feel that way. Of course, we were a little soon in doing our predictions. I think we did it last week or the week before that, before their Mercado actually took off that way. We had him finish. Well, I know I had him finishing fifth behind Roma. Um, no, but now from what I've seen, their first 2 matches, which I watched both, they're a very, very explosive team. And of course, Verona were horrendous, and who they played today, Monza, were bad as well. Two teams
Yeah.
that one is probably gonna go down to Serie B, and the other one just came up. So it's like a measuring stick. You still got to put an asterisk when you saw what you saw, but they look very good, man. You play the team that's in front of you, and they destroyed it. I think they scored 9 goals in two matches. They beat Verona 5-2, and then they just beat Monza 4-0 or 5-0. So that's something to take a look at. And to go even further, the guy that they bought to replace Insigne, the
The
Georgian guy.
Georgian, yeah.
Mikey,
Va-
what's his name, Mike?
Yeah, Mikey.
What? All right, let me look it up. All right, we're gonna get a
Look at
live
this guy.
reaction. I don't even.
His-
I don't. How am I
Wait,
name
wait a
is-
second.
know his name? Let
No,
me
no,
look
wait,
at it.
wait, Liv. I want to
Look at his
I want
face,
to-
bro. This is about to be so funny.
Oh man.
Go ahead, bro.
The first instinct.
Are
Come
we
on.
starting with first name, last name, or just last name? How bad?
Say
are
the
we
whole
doing?
Last
government
name.
name, bro. The whole
The
government.
whole government. Kvichka Kvarashkleya. The Kvarashkleya.
Bro,
Close
I
enough.
thought I've been practicing this. I thought I had it down, but Mikey just fucked me all the way up.
No,
So go ahead, Hristo. You're the one with the language for it. So
No, but please, I wanted to hear you as well. What did you think the pronunciation is or was?
let me read it.
Isn't it like
Is-
cravat something another?
You had your turn already, Mikey. You had your turn. Okay. Let me
I
give
know I
it a
was
shot. Hold on.
wrong.
I call him Kvaratskhelia.
I mean, close enough. I think it's pronounced Kvicha Kvarachkelia. But-
Kvaratskhelia.
Kvarachkelia.
That's gonna
Yeah,
take
I'm,
me at
I'm,
least a
I'm,
season.
I'm just gonna call him Quara because, or like the Napoli fans call him. The Napoli fans call him Quaradona. So
I just
So is it-
like This will be
But
a weekly update on Mike and Dave trying to
yeah,
pronounce his name.
trying to pronounce it. I mean, I'm gonna keep practicing it because I don't want to disrespect them like that.
Yeah.
Just I need to learn how to pronounce it, especially when you see the size of that talent. This guy, man, he looks different. He looks like a guy. He's in the league. He's super comfortable. He's demanding the ball. He's upset when the ball doesn't come to him. He's toying with his opponents, letting balls roll through his legs. He's teasing people. So that's not a guy that just came to a league and that's struggling to fit in or that's scared to make a mistake or whatever. I'm not sure if it's not if it's Spalletti that gave him full confidence or if it's like his teammates or whatever, but that's the guy that feels like he's already the man and that everything has to come through him. You see Zielinski looking for him on the ball so he can give him the ball and all of that. So he's already being used at a very important role in the team. So to answer your question, Mikey, I know we kind of got caught up trying to pronounce the name, but yeah, Napoli is the team that I'm definitely gonna be watching, especially next week against Fiorentina, because that's probably gonna be their first big test.
Yeah.
I saw
Well, they still
Mike.
have
I just want
Ndombele coming too.
yes.
Oh, what happened?
Ndombele to Napoli.
Yeah. He was there. He was actually on the
Oh,
bench
he was
today.
there.
Yeah. Looking sad. Both him, Raspadori, Simeone, all their guys were there. I
He
think.
didn't get in the match, did he?
No, he didn't.
No.
If anything, I'm not sure it means anything, but he was looking kind of displeased or whatever. Like he wasn't even paying attention to the match. That's to be followed, of course. I'm sure he doesn't know the
He's
language
like,
and
damn, bro. I was just
like
in that new Spurs stadium, and now I'm in the
like
Maradona.
look. I'm not gonna give you any leeway to do that, Mikey. Next thing you know, we're gonna have people in our comments like, "Oh, what did you guys say about the bathrooms?"
A publicity stunt is a publicity stunt.
No, I don't need to be I don't need to be torched like that. I just like totally butchered Buddy's name and then said
Yeah.
the
No,
Maradona
but
was
no,
in that
let's
stadium.
no, let's not go there. I mean, I kind of heard, I kind of was privy to a space where they were explaining why they're so sensitive about that kind of stuff. So hey, it doesn't cost us anything to not mention it. So fuck them in their stadium. Our stadium is not that good anyway.
Yeah, I
So
mean, yeah, there's problems at San Siro as well. I mean, I'm surprised we're still putting people in the third tier at this point. I get worried sometimes, but
it's like it's gonna collapse or something.
well, I mean, it's just old. I know that there's a part of it in the middle that they have like roped off now, like they always have covered because of those concerns.
Renovations and stuff. Oh,
Hopefully renovations.
I don't know.
Yeah, I
But
don't
yeah,
know either.
Napoli is definitely going to be a team I'm watching especially to first see them slip up, because I want to see that first chink in the armor and see where it's coming from. Because right now everything's working to their advantage. Vara, like we said, like he's hit the ground running, and their other guy, the new signing that they bought to replace Koulibaly, Kim Min Jae, he scored as well today. So yeah, it's like all the pieces are falling into place for them to make a run at even the Scudetto. That's the kind of team that I'm watching. How
Yeah,
about you
but
guys?
for now it's got to be Napoli. I just am a little wary because I mean we've all been there for Spalletti seasons. I mean once you hit January, February, it can get stale. Like the tactics can really get stale, and if he's got
Yeah.
problems with somebody, I thought there were some issues with Osimhen in preseason. I might be wrong. I may have missed.
It was a little spot, but they fixed it the same day. So
Okay, so they fixed that up. But like, I mean, we've seen what can happen with Spalletti, but this is, I think, one of the best built teams for him. Like,
bro, you see Hristo drinking off camera, bro. I'm sorry.
I'm
Hristo's
trying not to be. I'm trying not to be
he's like,
distracting, but yeah, it didn't work out.
y'all are fine. But yeah, I mean, if this is the best team, I think, built for Spalletti that he's had, I think Ndombele is a great midfielder for him. I think
Yeah.
Osimhen's a little bit different than most of the strikers he's worked with, but I do think that team is very much
in a
geared
good
towards
way.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not just a poacher. Like, I mean, he interacts with
Yeah.
everybody, gets involved. Every time he goes down, I worried he's broken something, but I mean, he keeps getting up.
Exactly. Bro, very good point. That's one thing I wanted to mention as well. It's like I know the last couple of years he's missed some significant time. First, well, last year because of the broken jawline that he had with Skriniar, and then I think the year before that he had COVID, and then something else. It's like this guy is just such an action-packed player. Every tackle he goes into it full speed, a ball in the air, he's swinging his head full speed as well. Today as well, I thought he did the same thing, the same way that he got injured. I swear to God, if you were watching the game, there was a ball to him and like an aerial ball. He jumped and then he swung his head the same way and made contact with the defender. So it's like, yo, this is a guy that I feel like he's gonna end up catching a freak injury. It's not like he's fragile or his hamstrings keep popping or some shit like that. He just keeps having freak injuries because of how busy of a player he is. I guess it's a gift and a curse, but yeah, Napoli are looking very, very interesting right now, man. Let's give him credit. I know me personally, like I definitely discounted them watching what Roma had going on, and before I saw what they brought in. But yeah, if we want to wait till the end of the Mercado officially to have our official predictions, I'm sure I'm gonna switch that up a little bit.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean Roma also Wijnaldum going down with a broken tibia, I think.
Wait, what?
Yeah,
Oh, this
the
is the
latest
first you're hearing?
information.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a
4 to
training
6
injury.
months.
Yeah.
What? That's like half a year out or even all year. If you
Yeah.
I,
broke you
I just read that the recovery time is usually 4 to 6 months,
months,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, it
depending.
probably depends on exactly where it's broken,
Yeah,
but yeah.
Damn,
So
that's crazy. I
that's a
feel
big blow
bad.
to their project.
Yeah, I feel bad. Yeah, I definitely got to reschedule. I mean, readdress my standings. And they don't even own him, right? He wasn't
Yeah,
there
he's
on
on
loan with
loan.
an option, so they're definitely not gonna be they're not gonna redeem him no more.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, maybe they can cancel the loan even and bring in someone like Fratesi, who I know they've been linked to. But I mean, still, that's a downgrade. I mean, that's still not. That's
I
not.
agree.
It's not the caliber that you have if you have one album there. But to get
Damn,
bring
that's
it
so
back,
sad.
yeah, yeah. To bring it back to Inter though,
Hmm.
um, Champions League draws this Thursday. There's a couple more
Yes.
matches to be played to decide. The last qualification spots and where the pots are going to be. But we know
Hmm.
Inter's in the third pot. There are some teams in the first and second pots that I think you can dodge bullets with.
Uh-huh.
Um, but yeah, what are you guys
um,
hoping for Champions League wise?
we haven't been the luckiest team in the past seasons since we were back in the Champions League, haven't we?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
I wouldn't bank on the luck factor. You just get what you get and be the best version of what you can be, because
Very well said.
when we were trying to um, deflect some clubs in the Europa League, I think we it was years ago, and I know that we were calculating. Oh, we should do this, we should do that, we should draw, we should win. No, bro. Like, play your game. Whatever happens, happens.
Yeah.
We fucking beat Liverpool, which is one of the top three or the best club in Europe was last season. So
Yeah.
just play your game. If you can beat Liverpool, you can beat anyone.
No, I'm with you.
Everyone's vulnerable.
I'm with you. But yeah, like Mikey said, us Interisti, that's one thing we should know for sure. We usually get the short end of the stick. So expect us to be in a group of death. Maybe we'll get PSG in pot one and probably Chelsea pot two, something like that. Some crazy group like that. In any case, I like our chances against the Chelsea that I'm seeing right now, honestly. But in any case, like Hristo said, whatever you get, you put your best foot forward, you play your best football, and you see what happens. And I think that's what we did last year against Liverpool. Although we could have said, hey, you know what, this is Liverpool. That's such a powerful team. Let's lay down. And Barella's injured or whatever. We didn't take any of those excuses. We put our best foot forward, and we ended up beating him. So yeah, let's do the same wherever we get. Let's hope that we can beat him and go through. But the whole path part three thing is super annoying, man. It's like you already know that it's gonna be a uphill battle. It's just
yeah,
how tough of an uphill battle it's gonna be.
Yeah, so I'm looking at the pots right now as they are so far. I think everyone left is probably going to be pot 4 from what I'm looking at. I maybe
Mm-hmm.
not. I don't know. That could change. But
The
pot
people that
1
are
is
qualifying, yeah.
yeah. Pot 1 is Real Madrid, Eintracht Frankfurt, the two winners of the European competitions this past season. You've
Mm-hmm.
got Bayern, of course, City, PSG, Ajax, Porto, and Milan. Of course, you can't get Milan. Pot 2 is Liverpool, Chelsea, Barca. I mean, if you get Barca, I don't know where their project is right now. Juve's in that
Yeah.
pot. Atleti, Sevilla, Leipzig, and Spurs.
The second pot is tougher than the first pot.
You think so?
Yeah, you
I
have
mean,
Can you say
I
outside of
who's in the second
Liverpool,
again?
second, Liverpool, Chelsea, Barca, Juve, Atleti, Sevilla, Leipzig, and Spurs.
we're not beating any one of them.
Oh, come
Oh,
on.
come on. We're definitely beating Spurs, Leipzig. I did hear Leipzig, right? Come on,
Yeah,
bro.
Yeah,
yeah,
We beating. There's a couple of teams in there we could beat.
is Shakhtar in the Champions League or not?
yeah. They're in pot 3 with us, so we
Oh
can't get
fuck, we
Shakhtar.
cannot.
Can't get Shakhtar.
Fuck.
That's a win in
The
my
one
book.
time that we can actually fucking beat them, oh, we cannot fucking draw them.
I don't even want to. I don't even want to try it, bro. I don't. I don't want hide nor
Why
hair
not?
of that team. Well, I mean, also they're gonna be very much motivated. I mean, everything going on in the world, but
Wednesday night in Ukraine,
yeah, where are they even gonna
No,
play?
no, I don't think they're
in
playing their
Kiev.
matches in Ukraine.
They're playing Kiev, bro. The league starts tomorrow. The
They're playing
Ukrainian
the
league
league
Really?
starts
tomorrow.
tomorrow. Yeah, the
Oh,
league, the Ukrainian league starts tomorrow.
Wait, so is
Actually,
Kiev like a no war zone or something?
yeah. There's nothing happening in Kiev, but the reports that I read yesterday in a local paper, it says that the league starts tomorrow. But there's a strong accent given on the sirens. So if they hear something happening or if they hear the
Everything
sirens, the
stops.
the matches, yeah, the match stops and everyone gets evacuated on a safe place.
But that's crazy though, Risto. Think about it. Imagine you got 50,000 people packed in the stadium,
Hmm.
and you hear sirens. How long is it
It's a
gonna take to
chaos.
evacuate?
yeah.
No, it's crazy to me.
Then to have to make that trip as well as a visiting team, I don't know. I
Yeah, I
wouldn't.
wouldn't
I
want my
wouldn't want to
boys
do that.
there.
Yeah, I'm glad. I'm
Yeah.
glad we're not anywhere near drawing Shakhtar.
Am I the
Pot
only one that
4.
wants
Oh, what
them?
were you saying?
Am I the only one that actually wants them?
Yes, you're the only person.
I mean,
I
as a
The
want
team, I would
revenge.
definitely want them, but I mean, what revenge? We beat them
Revenge.
last year. We beat them last year.
yeah,
No, I don't care. They deserve
We got our
more.
revenge last
Hristo
year.
just wants to beat up on Shakhtar every year.
If we could, I would sign up for that right away. Real and Shakhtar, I would sign up again just to beat them and get over it. And I don't want to see Shakhtar and Real ever again in my life.
Yeah. I just don't want Real again this season.
And
Like, if
No,
we're
me
gonna
either.
play a big team, I want a different big team. Like,
Mike, who's in the pottery with
I
us?
don't know why. I don't know why I'm feeling PSG so much, man. Like I hope I'm wrong. I wouldn't be surprised if we're in the same
nah.
group as
God, I
PSG.
hope we dodge. I hope we dodge PSG just so like the record of Messi not scoring against Inter stands.
Yo,
Mm.
did you see PSG today? They scored 7 against Lille.
I scored in the first like 5 seconds. Like,
That's crazy. And
Yeah,
Lille is supposed to be one of their challengers for the title.
yeah, yep.
This league is a joke. I mean, speaking of that, Bayern beat a team 7-0 as well in Germany. So
But
those
yeah,
leagues.
bro, it's Bochum. It's like one of the worst teams in the league. It's not like PSG against the team that won the league like 2 years ago. It's
yeah.
funny.
Yeah, our pot is um Inter, of course, Dortmund, Salzburg, Shakhtar, Napoli, Sporting, Leverkusen, and Marseille.
Kind of
Okay.
Wish
dog
we could
shit,
have
but
drawn
okay.
Marseille. That would have been quite funny. Alexis Sanchez going from his Lamborghini in the shed post to playing against Inter at the San Siro. That would have been fun.
And is there anyone in the pot for? Or
There's only
there
two
has to
right
be.
now. It's Brugge and Celtic.
Who, bro? What?
It's the
Bruges,
Belgian
Brugge.
club,
Ah,
Yeah,
Bruges.
Bruges.
Bruges,
Yeah,
Okay.
isn't that where we
Brugge.
sent That's where we sent Esposito. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, or did we send him
Nope.
to
Nope.
Anderlecht?
To
We sent him to
Anderlecht. Yeah.
Anderlecht.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. No,
Bruges.
that's where that guy that Milan signed came from. I think.
Nolan. Oh, the Catalar.
The
Yeah.
Yeah.
Catelar. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, it's impossible to predict a group.
Yeah.
Last season, of course, the whole thing happened where we were in a group with Ajax, and then for some reason we had to delete all that and redo it, and then you get Madrid. So, it's hard to
No,
it's hard
that
to
was
tell.
for the round of 16. You know, when we
Was it?
drew Ajax instead of Liverpool. Remember? We
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
first
I thought that
we
was
drew.
the pot. I mean the group.
I still feel like they did
No.
us wrong.
They fucked us over.
Bro, I was ready for Ajax, bro. I done woke up early, bro. You know, they did the first draw. I'm like, Ajax, bro, I got this
Yo, we have to go live this week for the draw.
for the draw. I mean, I'm down. I'm down. Hopefully,
Isn't
Ian
it
can
like
join.
at 6 a.m. for you guys? If you
Is it?
no,
No, it's like usually like 8 a.m., 12 or
Yeah.
10 a.m., somewhere around there.
Mhm.
Like I remember being like in class, like watching it in undergrad at times.
Yeah.
So I know it's like very early for here.
oh
Um,
yeah. Sorry, Mike. 6 p.m. our time, so
okay, so
12
noon
p.m.
here. Yeah. Okay,
Okay,
that's
that
not
works.
bad.
Perfect.
Not
Yeah.
terrible. Um, yeah, I mean, I think Wednesday, I guess, will be the day that we know the extent of pot four. Um, but yeah, do you, I think we talked about expectations in Champions League last week. I don't know if
Mhm.
Hristo was here for that. So yeah, you weren't
We,
okay. Well,
I, no, I think we spoke about Champions League 2 weeks ago when I was on.
okay, so it was 2 weeks. Okay, so it was everybody.
Yeah,
Okay, so we've gotten
when
everybody's thoughts on that.
yeah, and that will be fun. It will be fun just to see the reactions from the fans, from the management, their like facial expressions, just to see what there is their like real thoughts,
What's
raw
up?
thoughts
Mhm.
during the draw. It will be fun, but I think like we have to be lucky sometimes. Hopefully that's lucky, and that luck comes early this year, because progressing in the Champions League means more money, and more money means less
Yeah,
players being sold.
that's been being so good point. I mean, I wanted to mention that as well. Like, it seems like Sung and them, they're counting on the Champions League money. So it's more than I'm sure the draw is going to be something serious for us. Like, so to see how likely it will be that we could make it to the round of 16 and even a little further. You know, but we already know, being in part three, that again is going to be an uphill battle, and we're probably going to have to upset whoever the second favorite team is to go through if we can't win the league outright. You know what I mean? Not the league, the group outright.
Yeah, yeah. Getting Spurs or getting Chelsea would be well, that would be interesting.
Spurs is spot two, right?
Yeah, both of those teams are pot two. So I mean, there are three English teams in pot two. You could run into any of them: Liverpool, Chelsea, and Spurs. That's where I think the challenge kind of is. I don't know. I'm not sure about Chelsea yet this season. But granted, I'm not the most avid Premier League watcher, so yeah,
Me
I guess
neither.
Imagine we
you
end up
barely
in
even
a
watch
group
Inter half the
With
time, bro. Come on.
PSG and Liverpool. Imagine that.
Wow, low blow, Mike, low blow. I
Nah, nah,
expected this
nah.
from
But
Dave, but not from you.
I did get them in sometimes, right? Out of left field somewhere. But yeah, no, we're not getting out if that happens, Dave. We're not.
Nah, we're. I mean, at least would be. I mean, like Milan, and just get out early. Hopefully, we don't have to go and go do the Europa League and stuff like that as well.
Yeah, yeah.
Mike,
I don't want Europa League. I think that would be too
Mike,
much of a distraction.
tell me one team that you want us to draw and why. Just like, give me the perfect story.
I'd
The perfect
want
revenge story.
Eintracht Frankfurt. I didn't.
Ooh.
I mean, we had them in Europa League a few years ago. I remember that didn't go well. That
Yes.
was when they still had Jovic, Rebic, Haller. Like that was their really good team. Um, but I think that's the best pot one team you can get. Maybe Ajax, but Ajax tend to show up
Eintracht.
when they get to the
Champions League.
yeah,
Yeah.
the Champions League. Porto, we saw what they can do. They're a really frustrating team to play against defensively. They've got Conceição. Um, I think that would be more favorable, but I think I would take Frankfurt out of all of those in pot one, and then pot two if we're gonna do that as well. Um, Leipzig, I guess. I don't really know what they're up to this season, or maybe Sevilla. A little revenge match for Europa League
For
again.
the yeah. No, I'm with you. Those
I
those two
like that.
teams, I mean, would be golden, and I feel like would Loki be favorites in that group if we're in a group with Frankfurt and Red Bull Leipzig. I would think that we would be favored to win the group. But let's not expect it because we know again we're Interisti. Let's think worst case scenario. So let's expect PSG and Liverpool.
I mean,
Yeah,
most probably, but yeah, I mean, PSG. If we get PSG, we're getting like lesser opponents in the next spots because the PSG and UEFA have a close collaboration, to say the least. I want to see either Chelsea or Tottenham from part two. I mean, content Perisic or Lukaku revenge story.
no, Perisic would torch us. I don't think I want that.
No, he
Well,
won't.
but you know how it is when players come back. It doesn't matter where they went. If they come
I
back,
mean,
we get torched.
we also
That's
know
true.
how Perisic is streaky, and Dumfries on his day would eat up Perisic. So
Hey, hot take. Hot take. Very hot
I mean,
take. But
I like Dumfries, but I don't know.
hey, I mean, it may come. This may be something we get to talk about more. It very well could happen. I see that Premier League fans are discovering Perisic now, and they're amazed that he can use both of his feet. It's
Yeah,
it's quite
I should
funny
have
to see.
I should have saved that tweet, but there was a guy. It was like a big account as well. He had a check mark. He was like, "Oh, I'm not sure. I'm not sure when was the last time we saw that in the Premier League. A guy that can take a free kick with his left foot, and then to go ahead and take a corner with his right foot in the same match. Because he did that in the match against Chelsea. They had a free kick, and based on the angle, they wanted an in swinger, so he took it with his left. Great delivery. And then after that, they had the ensuing corner, and that guy went and took it with his right. We see stuff like that all the time. We saw him take a penalty with his left, and then another one with his right, the same match. So he does that shit to fuck with people at this point.
just to go viral on Twitter.
Hey, I
I
mean,
don't know any other players like that. Probably Dembele, maybe.
Yeah,
yeah. No,
they're very rare.
it's just funny to see. I mean, Perisic has accomplished so much in his career at
Bro,
Wolfsburg and at
he's
Inter
in the
and at
twilight of his
Bayern.
career.
Yeah, and he just gets to screw around in England and pull off some party tricks, and he's gonna be a cult legend at Spurs just
That's
from that.
crazy. You would have thought that they would have known about him from losing a semifinal to him, a World Cup
Yeah,
semifinal. Well, better late than never, I guess.
yeah. I guess he's got to get back in their good graces after making sure it didn't come home. So, but let's get to some comments here.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, let's see. Indra Hari saying that there's more verticality from the midfield with Lukaku and Lautaro. It's a different version of Limone ball. The Simeone, or Simone, not Simeone. Jesus,
Simone. Yeah,
Simone gets what is that? What's
A
Hristo?
controversial penalty that should be given to Atlanta. Shouldn't
Oh,
be.
is
I
that
was
a
watching that
handball on
match.
Teo?
Yeah, but they did. I guess they didn't see it because the players didn't really clamor for it too much. It is what it is.
Yeah. Well, It's too early. You know what? I'll take a 1-1 from Milan this early on. I don't think Atalanta got that result last season. So if we're
Yeah, no,
doing the plus
100%.
minus, yeah, if we're doing the plus minus that we were doing with Inter last year after every few matches, where you're like, all right, we got this point against this team and this point against that team, they're already in the negative. So I think I'll
No,
take
no,
that.
100% for sure. Like you were saying, I'm sure that's what you were gonna say. It's too early to even be counting points, watching what your opponents are doing or what your rivals are doing. Literally the second match, but anytime they drop points, it's a good thing for us. You
Yeah,
know,
it's a
so
good day.
yeah.
Teo getting making some more enemies. We saw that guy's in everybody's heads, but
Yeah, and yeah, he's become such a villain, and he embraces it. I guess that's why people don't really like him. But it seems like the league is catching on to Leao. Like today, Atalanta were not gonna let him beat them today. Every time the ball is even coming to him, he's being doubled up by Hattabor and whoever that right center back was on that side. I'm glad it happened, and I want to see it going forward. He was frustrated and had to be taken off early today.
yeah. To get back to the question, I think that verticality that we see from the midfield is because you have a striker that actually wants the ball into space.
Wait,
We didn't have that
that
last
was a
season.
question. Let me see.
Or he said, Indra right here, the verticality from the midfield that comes from having Lukaku and Lautaro. Um, I think or am I? I'm the one lagging. I think. Oh no, but yeah, here we are.
Oh yeah, for sure. I agree with him 100%. Um,
Yeah, I mean his hold up we see, and then he also wants the ball over the top. Speaking of Lukaku, those are things that we didn't
yeah,
have last season, and it's really taken pressure off of everybody at every aspect of the pitch. And I mean that can only be a positive for us. Let's see what else. What else do we have? Matteo, what's up? Um, Oh yeah, Forest spending 160 million. Speaking of the gap between teams, I mean we could go on that all day.
yeah,
It's tough. Nick's saying that Inter doing well, Chelsea playing terribly, Milan drawing. It's a good weekend. I don't really have too much against Chelsea now. Now that Lukaku's gone, I don't really care what happens to him. But yeah, it is funny to see that Lukaku's gone and that doesn't immediately solve their problems.
yeah,
Because I feel like prim clubs try to just throw money at problems instead of actually having some direction, and I think Chelsea's a good example of that right now. So I guess from that point of view, yeah, I do like to see it when prim teams suffer because you have so much money, you can do it. You can have whatever you want, but you just got to be
yeah,
competent enough to do it.
yeah. For real, I mean, I agree with you. From what I saw, um, Chelsea definitely need a striker because they have Kai Havertz in there, and this guy like you don't know what he is. He's not fully a
Not
striker.
a striker, yeah.
He's not a winger. It's like what is it? Sterling looked good, but yeah, you could tell they definitely need a striker. They're after Aubameyang, I believe, and this guy's definitely going to be a downgrade on Lukaku. So
Yeah,
yeah,
secret. Oh,
I
go ahead, finish.
I definitely want to see them do bad and miss him. So for sure, yeah, I'm
Yeah, well,
keeping
I
a
don't want
close
him to
eye
miss
on
him
them.
too much, and we don't need Tuchel to get fired because we don't want him going
You're
bad.
right. You're right. You're right. You're right. That's true. That's true. That is a good
Just need
point.
them to teeter on the edge of like disaster for the season.
Yeah.
But I don't think Seeker of Truths enjoyed my pronunciation contest. American Tongues ain't got the facilities for that. I'll have it. I will
I'm,
have
I'm
it.
gonna
Just
have
give me
it
some
by next
time.
episode. I'll have it.
Just give me some time. I'll get it. I promise.
You should hear Nima saying it. Nima's always showing off saying it because I'm sure he has it down packed. Every time he says it on
Yeah.
his podcast, it's perfect. I'm not even gonna try.
Yeah, well, it's a work in progress. It's a work in progress. What else do we have? Indrahari doesn't want Chelsea. Mattia doesn't want Real or Shakhtar. Indrahari wants Tottenham. All
That'd be
Champions
fun.
League takes. yeah, I guess we'll have to see Knicks once a Lukaku goal against Chelsea. I think that would be pretty rich. And then you need the knee slide down at the Chelsea fans. Really get it going.
No, the same thing he did to Milan. He has to do it. Take off his shirt, put it on the corner post, and
Oh, if you do that with the Stamford Bridge corner flag, oof. I think he might get run out of the city of London. But that was so good.
there'd be a riot, bro.
Yeah. Seeker of Truth with a good point about Ajax this season. They've been picked apart. I know Anthony is trying to force a move out. They've lost a lot of guys. I know Haller left. Ten Hag left. Took a couple of guys with him. So yeah, I mean they do have some identity finding to do. They were able to rebuild after the Onana, Delict, De Jong whole project, but they're gonna have to build for a third time in like 5 years. So that might be one.
I mean, that's what they do. I mean, their academy is known for that, I guess. But yeah, they just lost their midfielder as well. He went to Bayern. What's his name? Gravenberg.
Yeah.
So yeah, they did
Yeah.
get picked apart. So very good point.
Yeah, and then ASAP says that Dumfries must start. DeMarco should be at left wing back, and Hakan needs to shoot more. That's a pretty cut and dry takes right there. I mean, I don't
disagree
with
any of
them.
them. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, spot on. We're pushing about our usual time here. So, is there anything that we've missed? Any little things we need to get in? Odds and ends.
No, I mean we have a pretty decent match coming up. How do you guys feel
Oh
about
yeah,
Lazio? Do you guys
Lazio.
want to do predictions? What do you guys expect? I did
What?
make sure I made sure I watched them today as well. I think they played today or yesterday. They played Torino. I think yesterday they played
Yesterday.
Torino, and I watched that match. I don't see anything so impressive.
Did they
Usually
play?
year two, yeah, they played Torino yesterday. They drew
Yeah.
0-0. Usually year two, you're expecting to see year two of Saudi ball, and they're moving the ball around tiki taka. I didn't quite see it, so I feel like that's a team we can beat. We can beat quite handily if we're on our stuff on Friday.
Yeah.
Are we going to the Olimpico or is it a home game?
It's at the Olimpico. It's a rematch of that match where
They
DeMarco's
fucked
on
us
the
over.
floor. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and then Luis Felipe, I think it was,
Philly
jumped on.
person,
Yeah. Or whoever, yeah, somebody jumped on the back of Correa, and it was
Correa. Yeah.
a whole to do.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't want all that again. That was kind of annoying. Oh, Vecino
Yeah.
started for
Yeah.
Lazio yesterday. Vecino,
Yeah.
Cataldi, Milinkovic, Savage, midfield. Zakanya is a left winger. This is a strange. Romagnoli is starting. Marusic still starting. Patrick is a center back. This is a weird team.
Patrick and
Yeah.
Romagnoli in the
Yeah.
back four.
I'm
Yeah,
sure Lukaku's eyes will light up.
Providel from Spezia as their keeper now too.
Yeah.
Very
Well,
strange
I think they're
team.
gonna have the other keeper back, the one that got the red card first match. That's who was
Oh
supposed to
yeah,
be
the new guy.
their first keeper, the new guy. Yeah, he's supposed to be pretty good.
Yeah, this just looks like a weird team. I mean, they still have Felipe Anderson and they have Chiro, so those are what you got to watch out for.
Yeah.
Vecino, I mean, the last time Vecino played against Inter, he damn near scored a hat trick. So I mean,
Oh, for
that's
Fiorentina,
yeah,
was it?
at Fiorentina, yeah,
Yeah.
Oh my God,
the
what a
Icardi
game!
hat trick loss game. Oh man, memories.
Let's not.
But
Let's not.
I love those memories. But I guess I'm pretty confident. Have Lazio won yet in the league? Yeah, they beat
Yeah, they won
Bologna.
their first match. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so they beat Bologna. It took an own goal, but they got that, and then they drew with Torino. So I mean, it's not been the best start to the season for them, I guess. But yeah, I'll take Inter in this one. I think that Lazio team still has a lot of building to do. What do you think, Hristo?
Hat trick Lukaku 3-0 away.
Staying on the hot takes. Yeah. I'd really like to see Lukaku really get going. I think this is a defense he could get going against. I mean, this will be the first time that they faced a team that played with two center backs. I think both Lecce and Spezia lined up three. So we'll see what comes of that, especially with Dumfries coming forward a lot more. I think this team could cause a lot of damage. Secret of Truth says 2-2 or 1-0 Inter. I could see that as well. Lazio is always a very, very strange match away for Inter.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
Simone needs that.
Patrick and Romagnoli against Lukaku and Lautaro, that's 2 goals at least for Inter. It's what I'm expecting.
Hey, Milinkovic-Savic could still probably be on his way out. I think that's still possible. So, I mean, if that happens, I've still seen United linked. But that could just be a link, just the internet doing internet things. But, if that happens, that team is directionless.
Yeah, it's definitely fried. And even Luis Alberto, he's been wanting to leave and go to Sevilla. I don't think they're going to allow him to leave. That's why he's been benched the last couple of matches. But I think that's the match we could beat. We could win 2-0, 2-1 even, because you got to give Immobile credit, and he is going to find a way to score a goal. So yeah, I got us winning 2-1, even 3-1. It should be comfortable for us with Patrick and Romagnoli back there, and I'm sure Lukaku's familiar with them. So
yeah, he's all too familiar. But I will spot Immobile a goal. You got to spot Felipe Anderson a goal. 3-2, I'll say. It'll be some fireworks. First real back and forth match of the season.
Well, I'll take a 3-2. We still win. Andanovic concedes 2 stupid goals, and then we start Onana in the next match. All in the world.
All part of the plan. All part of the plan. Yeah. Okay. That, I think, brings us here to the end. Any parting statements from anybody? Hristo, Dave?
No, that's it for me. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Thank you for all the comments. I'll always say it. See you guys next time. I'm sure we're going to record next weekend after Lazio. Well, wait. We did say we're going to try to record after the draw or live record the draw. So
live record.
Yeah, we'll have to see about that. I don't know what my schedule will look like, but you guys can definitely get on. I know Ian will probably be free, so definitely try to get that in the works.
Okay. Yeah, if we can make it happen, we'll make it happen.
Yeah, definitely. So we'll try to get that. We play Friday, so that gives us Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to record. So there's some open space there. But then we play again on Tuesday against Cremonese. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of rapid fire coming up. We'll try to get on as many times as we can. Looking forward to it. A lot more to talk about. We struggled for talking points, I know, coming into the season. So now that, everything's happening, it's getting a lot more fun. It's picking up. But Hristo, you think you'll be with us?
You know me. If you win, I'm here. If you lose or draw, I'm out.
Come on, man. I miss you when you're gone. You got to be here.
Of course you do, bro.
At least he's honest.
I miss you too, guys. But if
he said, I got a life, touch grass, L plus ratio.
Oh my god! But it's fun to be here. Most of the days, I'm watching Inter out usually because it's on the weekend, and it's more fun to watch it in a pub or something like that, where there's a decent crowd of people, that like-minded people that you can share ideas with and gather information, gather opinions, and then share them on the podcast and just gather information all around.
So you're representing Interclub Skopje as a whole?
Allegedly.
Allegedly. Oh man. All right. Well, yeah, I guess that's it. It's been a good one, guys. It's been a good one from the comments. Thanks as always. We'll see you all in the next one. Hopefully after another win, or at least, with the draw, which could be a win as well. Peace.